Right there. There. That's on my computer.
Are we live on Facebook yet?
Yeah, we're about to be. We're streaming on YouTube right now. So.
You here to check this mic?
Yeah, all the mics been checked. All right, guys, how you doing? Welcome to Dick Liberty. I'm going to be connected on Facebook Live right now, so here we go. I want to welcome all the Hood News Global radio listeners, and I want to say it's great to be here this week. And as we get started tonight, I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff you're going to see. Of course, we're going to be talking about the IG report, all right? And a lot of stuff you see, I've given proper attributions to, from where I got the images, from where I got some of the information, to include Fox News, New York Times, CNN, and other network media entertainment entities. So I'm glad to have you, Dilly. How's your week been, man? Let's start off with that.
Yeah, it's been hot. You know, we all know that I work hard and I work outside. It's been super hot, but you know what? Every day we got like what Wavy likes to say, you know, make the hustle and do your thing. And
everyday hustle. That's our special guest tonight, by the way. We'll be talking to Wavy. He's been pursuing some other things and working hard, and there's the Fox that I gave credit for that we're going to talk about tonight. I saw it this morning on the news. But he's been working hard, and he's been working on a project himself, dealing with his show, and I think you'll be pleased to see what he produces. I want to take a minute and say hi to Sarah Michelle, Cassie, Helen Johnson. Thank you guys for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you. And so, what do you say? You want to start off right with this clip from Fox Friends this morning, and let me rewind it here, and that'll put you right on topic. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have been following this. It's been all over the media. So here we go, without much further ado.
At 5 o'clock this afternoon, the Department of Justice and the FBI are going to be facing Intel Chairman Devin Nunes' deadline to explain their alleged use of informants in the Trump campaign. The Bureau sent information in a classified letter last week, but the top Republican says that's not enough.
Well, moments ago, the president weighing in, tweeting, "I have tried to stay uninvolved with the Department of Justice and FBI, although I do not legally have to, because of the now totally discredited and very expensive witch hunt currently going on. But you do have to ask why the
Okay, I want to stop it right there just for a second. And the reason I want to stop it right there just for a second is because Mr. Trump is saying he's tried to stay uninvolved. And we all know how big of a Trump supporter Dilly is. And I want to get Dilly's perspective on that statement in his tweet. What do you got, Dilly?
Well, once again, we all know that I am a Trump supporter, and as much as I love him, there's some things that he needs to stay off of Twitter about. But overall, I do support him 100%.
Okay.
So with that being said, with him being not involved, you know, totally legally, there's some factual things that. Situations that I agree with him on that, but we all know he's the president of the United States. He's going to get the information regardless of what anybody says. He's going to have his informants that are going to keep him posted for every little blah, blurb, whatever it is you want to call it.
Right.
And they're going to keep him posted because he wants to stay posted, because at any time, if he has to use some sort of power that needs to be, you know, that could be justified, unjustified, which I think that most of it would be justified, but I would think that it would be a good thing. At least I hope it does.
Okay.
So far, to me, he's done the right thing so far, and as you can see, everything that's been coming out.
Right.
Everything has been going over the past 2 years, has been flowing, and now everything with this IG report, it's just been wow. It actually.
So, do you think this has been going on for longer than 2 years? That's my question to you. Because,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what kind of feeling does that? Okay, Wavy. Wavy's our special guest. He's from the Everyday Hustle. He's on Saturday night. They're doing a hiatus right now and kind of checking in once in a while. How familiar are you with the IG report? I know you've been out there grinding. You've been working on your project, but is this the first time you're hearing of this stuff?
Yeah, this is. I try to kind of stay away from the news during the week and just focus on what I'm doing. But this is the first time I'm actually paying attention to this. I heard it. It came through the ears a couple times. People talking about it, whatever. But this is actually the first time I'm looking at it here. And,
So this being your first time looking at it and opening up with this statement in a tweet, what does that make you feel about what you're going to find in this IG report or the findings of the IG report? And welcome, Jane, Diana, Lori. Thank you all for joining. Debbie, it's a pleasure to have you. Shannon, Amy. We love it, guys. Keep it up. So what's the initial thing that hits you with this?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear that he's just trying to say that, he don't want to do it. He's not trying to catch another backlash from it, none of that. But only thing with me is, just like you see now with his Twitter, he loves to come out and just put things. So I don't feel like he's gonna stay out of it for long. I feel like he's gonna end up in it because he's gonna, like Dilly said, he's getting so much information. Something's gonna tick him where he's gonna be like, all right, I'm Twittering this shit.
One thing about Trump is he likes to keep the American people with information, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. He puts the information out there to make you think and actually go do a little bit of research and follow what you want to, what your beliefs are.
Right.
And that's
is this another way you think in a subconscious level to encourage and instill a belief system in you and bring it out of you as a entire population?
And as a bully system, you said?
No, as a belief system. Because you referenced beliefs.
Yes.
And
I think that you have to have a very smart and strong mind in understanding what's going on with whatever you believe in, right or wrong, what's going on with this country and whether he says something you like or dislike. So, is he really trying to push the beliefs that much stronger? Yeah, I believe so. I think he really just wants the truth to be out there.
Right.
I mean, once again, I'm just like everybody else. There's three sides to the truth. You got.
Yes, you do. There seems to be more than three sides of the truth in this particular situation,
Absolutely.
And I think there's a lot more tied to this than what people may think. And I've kind of been leaving breadcrumbs on my Facebook posts, and I know I've been limited in what I've been sharing, but I'm doing it for a specific reason that way. And when you go back and you start looking at it, because there's been one piece in every story that we've done or every episode that we've done that's connected to the next episode. Have you noticed that, Billy?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Wavy, have you noticed that, Wavy?
Yeah, I've been peeping. I've been like I was telling you the other day, when I've been like kind of just sitting back and watching the intensity grow and putting all the pieces together, watching how one thing is just leading to the next and to the next. And I'm just like, man, this dude's fucking knocking them down. So I've been excited, having fun at home watching. I get off of work and I mean I'll be going and look because I can't keep up with this guy. Like he's all day, every day fucking posting and.
Well, I truly thank you for those compliments. That's not the main reason why I'm doing it, though. I'm doing it because I understand the value of knowledge, and I understand how this knowledge is being applied, and I'm not sure I like everything that's going on at the moment. And that's on multiple scale because we've referenced multiple parties, multiple states. We've referenced the sex trafficking in the Clinton Foundation. And now tonight, in this IG report review that we do, we're going to reference that a little more that you might not even be aware of because some of the main media is not talking about it, period, point blank. I think when Dilly showed up today, he probably was like, holy shit, where the hell did you get all this stuff from?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it was just crazy. And again, I want to say hi to everybody who's joining us. Thank you so much. So we're going to go back to the web source, and we're going to continue our review of this. So stay with me. Here we go.
Jay and FBI aren't giving over requested documents.
That is a big and good question.
Now you heard that, right? They're not giving over the requested documents. Pay attention to that sentence because later on we're going to reference that again. All right, here we go.
House Intel Committee Chairman Devin Nunes joins us now to weigh in. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for being here this morning. So let's start with that very lead question. Are they going to meet your deadline? And if they don't, what can you do about it?
Now, if you're not familiar with the deadline referred to a timeline, I think it was by 5 p.m. today, or Yes, 5 p.m. today, where they had
What, was it today or what?
No, actually, I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
Right, and they had to submit the documents being requested for further review to validate or disvalidate some of this IG report. All right, so here we go. We're going to continue.
Well, knowing the past, they're probably not going to meet the deadline. However, I think the American people are beginning to see what it is that we've been after for a very long time. And that is it common, or does it ever happen, that the counterintelligence agencies or capabilities of this country, are they used to target political campaigns?
Wow, what a question. What a question. Are these guys being used to target political campaigns? Dilly, what do you think about that? Do you think they are?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely, 100%.
What makes you think of that right now? And thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Glenn, Gina, Shanna, we love it. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Share this. We're talking about some really heavy stuff right now.
It's super heavy. This is super heavy for me. But yeah, absolutely, they target the campaigns because it started off with the Clinton campaign. When back in 2015, when the presidential campaign started kicking off, and both, this started before Trump even became the nominee for the Republicans.
I'm going to put up a different image real quick while you're talking.
Okay.
So I want you guys to look at this.
But during the campaigns, the Clintons, from what I've read and what we've seen, they already were trying to do something to the Republican campaign before they even knew Donald Trump was going to be the actual nominee.
Yes, you are correct.
They were just trying to they wanted to find the weakest link in the Republican Party.
They did not pick the right one.
And unfortunately, they picked the wrong one. They thought Donald Trump was going to be the go-to guy because he has no political experience. He just wasn't your typical political eye candy, I guess you want to say.
Right. So Wavy, what do you think about what you're hearing so far, being new and being just exposed to all this stuff, and how he's saying that these people and the informants are being used for political campaign sabotage, basically? What do you think, man? Like, is that a plausible argument as somebody who isn't familiar with this kind of stuff as much as other people who research it?
I mean, well, yeah, because we all know that this happens on so many different levels. So we know it's an actual real thing. It's not just like somebody just being like, oh, well, we know this happens, so why couldn't it happen? And it is.
What other levels are you referring to?
I mean, any level of anything, you can have, people, informants in there sabotaging things to work your way. That happens a lot for elections and things like that. You see all this. Just look at the mainstream sabotage, the commercials, the ads that they're allowed to put out, dissing the other opponent and saying that is the same thing,
Absolutely.
So it's happening on so many different levels, and they show us that, so we know it can happen. So yeah, I mean, it's plausible enough to me anyway. Like I said, I don't know much about this, but common sense just tell me, hey, if something has been done before and it can be done, if somebody says it's being done, let's take a look at it.
I have a question for you. Let's bring it to your local level. Not even this. Not
yeah, let's bring it to the local level. The state level.
We'll bring it.
The county level.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Local level. Let's dumb it down a little bit.
Okay.
You don't have nearly as many people involved as you do on the federal level.
Right.
When I say you're local, you're talking like county. Maybe even we'll include the state.
I wonder if any of my or any of our listeners
right.
have anything to say here. Because we're going to continue this debate. This is a great debate. And if you noticed my Facebook post, I think it was yesterday, about the law enforcement officers who were taking the drug money from the cartels. And they were putting that money in their pockets and paying officers and doing all this stuff. But this is not an uncommon pattern I've found during the research that I've been doing. And I say that because how did we get into war with Osama bin Laden? Didn't we, as a CIA and a government, fund him at one point and trained him and provided him weapons, and then we pulled everything away, and that's why he was pissed?
Yeah.
I mean, would you be pissed if that happened to you?
Absolutely.
You thought somebody was backing you and they pulled everything away? Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we factually, I posted another thing about Pablo Escobar and his son coming out and speaking truth about the cartel and how they're financed and got started as the CIA's army. I don't know. I've been to South America. I've seen some things. Not going to talk about them. Not my business. But I will expose the other facts that I have found in the pattern that we are demonstrating. It's a common pattern, and it's all over. That's why I put up the thing to relation on the Cimex and the properties and the connection between the Clintons and the $100 million donation from the Clinton Foundation, which is ironically tied, he said sarcastically, to the 340,000 emails on Anthony Weiner's computer, the Democrat from New York, who is no longer with his wife, Humana Abedin. I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
Abedin, yeah.
Abedin. Because of the dealings which she had to go through with that sexting scandal, and now this, it's absolutely ridiculous. But not ironically, again, he says, the parties involved in all this, you got the former FBI director, Mr. Comey, you got the former Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, you had the Deputy Attorney, Sally Yates, who apparently Comey was cool with them meeting and talking and discussing things. And you are correct, Yarimar, peacekeeping forces have been in Afghanistan. Opium production has increased by 90%. Don't you think there's a reason for that? Or am I crazy? Wavy, do you see any connection in that?
Oh, yeah, big pharma.
Yeah, I do. I was actually just reading
Good evening, Eddie.
what Lori Barwick was saying about Rawlings Ranch.
You are right. Late 70s.
Yeah, see what she's saying right there? That's crazy.
Yeah, Rawlins Ranch in
That's a
Indian River
typical
County
thing.
when they got raided. Judges and police chief was involved, of course.
That's a typical thing. So that way, now you know, like, see, when these are happening, anybody could be like, oh yeah, all the judges and cops are corrupt. But until they actually get caught in doing these things, do people actually realize, like, hey man, this shit actually happens. We should start paying more attention. We should start doing more, doing different.
Yeah.
Stuff like this is really happening. It's not just a say it world anymore. You say something and somebody's doing it already.
Yeah.
So
what do you? I mean,
but they're the similarities of everything is matching up. They're all.
Oh my gosh, he was a bureau winner.
They're all theft.
There is.
Let me just say that they're all
Hey,
common.
I gotta address this real quick. And I'm gonna go to the other picture because I apologize to you, Senator, for framing and freezing your face like that. Please, I hope you're not too offended. It wasn't intentional. So I apologize. But the war on drugs. The theme that accompanies the pattern is war. The military has evolved from an industrial complex to a financial complex, in my opinion. And when you look, like, all of this going on, and what gets released today? There's a tweet with a picture of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, and George W. Bush is wearing Bill Clinton's blue socks with the blacked out face, and they're having a good time. Do you think they were really there having a great time, or do you think they were there discussing something? The backlash of this potential situation, the backlash of the misconduct in the FBI and the mishandling of information, and the straight reckless abandonment of fucking security protocol that gets beat into every one of our fucking heads when you go through goddamn boot camp and everything you do related to the military.
That's their good time, though.
Say again?
I said that's their good time.
Oh.
Nobody ever defined what a good time was. They just said they were having a good time. That's their good time. Let's discuss how we fuck it up, how we take, and we stay on top. It's a good time, huh?
It is. But the one thing that also keeps popping up in this pattern is the name Clinton. The email domains and personal domains of Clinton.
Clinton's a troll.
And then you look at the other plays. I almost think that, well, Trump is very smart. And I think he's probably planned on this and reverse psychology the whole thing to get the outcome to expose the corruption. I think that's a great idea. And I'm all about exposing that corruption.
100%.
All about it. all about it. All right, let's go back to the web source. We're going to continue. I want to get through this video so that we can get to the real meat and potatoes.
We need to know that answer. Now, I know the Democrats have been hiding because they're so married to this Russiagate fiasco that's been going on for so long. But I would think most of the American people, including most people in politics, would be very, very worried if the FBI and others are running informants into our campaigns.
Right.
Very simple question. It deserves a very simple answer. We've been asking that question for many, many months. And on Friday, we had a meeting Friday morning. We thought that everything was going to come together. But then, as you all know, we received a letter almost at midnight Friday night, which is a textbook swampy example of what they do here in Washington is tell you they're going to get it by the end of the week and wait till nearly the stroke of midnight.
Well, Congressman, that there have been, the DOJ has been sending out email, press blasts. We cooperated. There are a couple of things. We're speeding up document production. We're doing everything Congress wants us to do. But you say that it's a little suspicious that there are just a few documents that could lay bare all of your questions, and those are the ones they're trying to keep from you the most.
You hear that? Everybody heard that, right?
Absolutely.
Few documents. You heard that, Dylan?
Absolutely, I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, damn right I did.
So I think there was a total of 1.2 million documents involved in this. Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Just 1.2 million. Okay. And then there was 100 witnesses, and out of these 100 witnesses, there are indications that supervisors and directors of the FBI insinuated and encouraged their FBI agents to change 302s. And I know you've been seeing that pop up here, the 302s. A 302 in the government form, and what they're doing is that's the interview witness statement, basically, and they're changing them out of the 100 witness statements they got. And the parties I mentioned involved already are most likely some of the ones they're changing. They found, you guys know this, or maybe you don't, but they found text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. And that was a former advisory, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. For
the Trump campaign. So how is that going to show up? And then you have an FBI director who's saying, Mr. Howowitz, can we get over the Hillary Clinton emails? I mean, do you guys think it's, hey, is this just an listeners and viewers, do you guys think this is an isolated incident of emails? I mean, we say we got Angel Pond, our government has become a corporation, which the Constitution states it should never be a corporation. You are correct.
Absolutely.
You have Hillary shit done already, beat done, brought down by corruption. They're pure evil. The Clintons, yep. I mean, we'll see. Snowden is merely what they want us to see. Imagine what we don't see and don't know. Oh, Glenmar, I'm sorry I didn't catch that comment till just now, but I have to tell you, you are spot on, man.
Oh yeah, I was getting ready to say something about that.
You are spot on. And if you look at cartel association to the Cemex properties, to the Clinton connection through foundation and nonprofit, and I know you've heard us talk about the piracy of nonprofit, you start to see that, hey, you know what? We gave them the weapons and we gave them the drugs because in 1999 or 1997, one of the CIA's planes crashed and it had freaking 90 tons of cocaine on it. But nobody sees that. Nobody talks about that, you know? And then you got Comey, like in this incident, talking about he needs a separate public statement because of the 500-year flood that's to come and going through the FBI. That's a bold statement because anytime you hear anything about a flood, what do you think, Dilly? What do you think? The Great Flood, what do you think?
Bad things are about to happen.
I think, oh my God, he just quoted the Bible. We got to build an ark.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Let's get all our number twos, our double politicians, the ones that we think are the best. Let's get them all paired together and put them on the ark and get them out of here so everybody else can drown.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that's a bold statement. I'm not saying that's my true belief. I'm just saying it's a very plausible possibility. And, you know, we got to take a mindset of Mythbusters here. Those guys are funny.
Yeah.
Point being, look at the trails. Why are so many people coming out now? Because we got the internet. The internet backfire plan, or is it part of the plan to get everything situated? Is there even a big plan to get everything situated? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these comments. The Clintons killed the Sherrys back in the late 80s, early 90s. The people who went to jail so Hillary Clinton could have the gambling rights in Mississippi. Supposedly, mob boss Mike Gillick. I'm going to see more on this. Well, his son is now the mayor in Biloxi. Tell me that is not a coincidence. Okay, it's not a coincidence because you told me to tell you that. I'm just kidding. I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, I don't think so either.
It wouldn't appear to be a coincidence to anybody who has half a brain and some reason, in my opinion. I don't know. Point being, this is all over. This is not just in Louisiana. And you know what? I got to talk about the gaming rights. I am so glad you brought up the gaming rights because
Yes.
there are, in this pattern that I've been studying, there are indications that the Clintons used the gaming system in the gambling industry, one, to launder money along with the cartels, and it's a staging place for the cartels. And then you have matching news stories popping up about the immigrant invasions, and we already have tunnels system that's just incredibly intricate under our border. Plenty are not coming here legally. We have a system in place to let them come here not legally, and we give them an ankle monitor so that we can track them, and they never show up, but they still stay here. So coincidences, yes, I see quite a bit of them. Craziness, no, I'm not crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just follow the trail. And it's the thing that's killing me and really like blowing my mind is it's right in front of everybody. It's in plain sight. It's like the perfect James Bond script, if you ask me. You know?
I've got a few coworkers that are diehard liberals, and I try to sit there and have a discussion with them. And I try to, you know, I'm a Republican because I support Donald Trump. I try to keep an open mind and try to listen to everybody. But this one particular guy, his name is Jeff as well, and he
conflict of interest.
Yeah, he's just all he ever comes up with is that Cheeto mother effer, or that Cheeto this. He's a dumbass. He just stays off Twitter. So my question to him all the time is, what are your facts to back up what I'm trying to tell you about the scandals? Where are your facts? Oh, he's just an idiot. And I'm like, you're not proving anything to me. Come with me with some facts or some other situations that will. And that's I like to have discussions about that, and that's what drives me crazy. As the very few liberal friends that I do have,
I mean, can I ask you a question though? Do you think that the mere fact that we call ourselves a democracy and we're founded as a republic, and we have a society of classes, like we're not a society of people, we're a society of classes right now. We got the poor class, we got the lower middle class, we got the barely middle class, we got the upper middle class, then we got the lower whatever. I don't even know anything past that because I'm not rich. I ain't got no money. Like, point of what I'm getting at, we're so confined in our classes. I think all these points, just like you're bringing up in this discussion, is driving and keeping that spike in between us.
I also think that the media, whatever, I think they tailor to each class.
You know what? You're right, because when I look at my research, and I'm sure you've seen this too, and we've addressed it here before, like, and I bet Wavy could probably see this too. Like when you watch CNN, and then you watch CBS, and then you watch BBC, and then you watch Reuters, and then you watch Fox, and then you watch Sky News, and then you watch all these other news stations, you see that a way different picture overall in perception, both locally and globally. And if you pay attention to the timing and the releasing of the certain documentaries on Netflix, it all lines up with everything that's going on right now, currently on the world stage.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Why? How come? What for?
Right. Wait, I mean, do you notice any of this? What do you think? Like, I really want to hear your input on this, man.
Hey, man.
Because he's totally unbiased. He's not familiar with all this stuff to this degree quite yet.
Yeah, I don't really get into this side of the world, and I just pay attention to what like really matters, the immediate effects of things. Because I mean, I could keep track of all this, but when I finally get the facts and the info for this, it has already been worked out to the T for many years. It's been in the process. It's been working. So by the time they really show us, there's really nothing we can do about it at that exact moment, because it's already it's what do you call it, premeditated, you know. So it's already been planned out. So I try to stay away from a lot of this stuff, because I'll really like I'm a person. I guess I'll say I'm a conspiracy theorist, and you know, I like to get down to the bottom of everything. I like to find out all the sides of the story. Right. And then I use common sense and the facts to figure out which is really real, and then, you know, feel like that.
What you got, Dylan? I'm gonna get to your comment in a minute here, Angel.
Yeah, when you really have to follow along with this one, because you can get lost real quick.
It's a rabbit hole, man. I'll tell you.
And it's not just a single tunnel. It goes off onto a trillion different tunnels.
Yeah.
And that's where, if you haven't grasped it from the beginning, not that you haven't,
right?
But if you have not, it's really hard to get caught up with it. And if you do, as soon as you do catch up, or catch it at that moment, you might catch it at the part where
it's already changing.
Yeah, the Clintons are the best things in sliced bread, or Donald Trump's.
But you know what? When you look back at Clinton in his statement, one time I came across a statement that CNN had put on, and he literally gave the same exact hardline speech that freaking Donald Trump had been giving.
Yes.
I mean, it was almost a mirror fucking image.
So did Obama. So did Obama.
Yes.
So did George Bush.
Perpetuation.
George Bush. It's every single president, especially on the immigration.
Yes.
That's the big one that all these presidents seem to focus on to get elected, and then when they get elected, it seems to just like sizzle away. And now we got Trump that has brought it back and is trying to fix that situation,
right?
Along with everything else that he had talked about, that he has tweeted about, and all this other.
Right.
God, we could just go on and on and on with it.
Well, okay. I want to address Angel Pond's comment real quick. She said she's got a passion, and she knows the corruption in the system of the American children and how they are being kidnapped, and how they are being kidnapped by state-funded money, $5,000 to $10,000 per head. So yes, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to want to discuss this. And, you know, we're trying to get more and better and more professional every time we do this, because we just got started, you know. But facts are there, and we got to bring them out, because if we don't.
How long have we been doing this now? What, 3 months now?
3 months.
4 months?
Something like that. I don't even know.
February-ish? March-ish?
This is crazy.
Was it March? March, April, May, June.
All right, I got a couple more things. We're gonna finish up this video. I'm gonna let it run all the way through. Hey, what's up, Christopher Marks? I'm gonna finish up this video, let it run all the way through, and then we're gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, and let's be clear. There were many documents that they provided last week. Okay,
thousands.
Now those should have been provided to us months and months and months ago, but we'll get past that. So I would say we cleaned up most of what was on the table, except for the most important piece, which there's two pieces really, but one is you can't use Gang of Eight. You can't take information that our investigators and our committee members found and then retroactively say, no, sorry, Congress, we're going to move that so only the leaders in Congress can see this information, when it's information that we dug up. So we're going to try to handle that today. We're going to meet with the Director of National Intelligence. Hopefully we get somewhere on that issue. The second and bigger issue goes to the one we were just discussing, which is, did you or did you not run informants into the Trump campaign, especially before the investigation even began? So remember, just take people back. How did this investigation begin according to the New York Times and many others in the mainstream media? Well, you had the dump of the emails, the Democratic National Committee emails in late July. And then, oh my gosh, our great friend from Australia gave us Five Eyes intelligence so that we could open up this investigation. Well, as you know from a couple months ago, that's not true. There was no Five Eyes intelligence product that was used. It was ran through the State Department. We now know that from State Department people who still need to be interviewed, who are now out there talking to their friends in the mainstream media. They say they're the ones that got that information to the FBI. So that would be totally irregular how you open this investigation in the first place. But what people are ignoring is, well, wait a second, what if that story's not true? Or what if it's only half true? Because I think there's parts of that story that are true, but I think there's a whole lot that we still don't know about, and that really gets down to, look, did you use the counterintelligence capability of this country to run informants or spies or whatever you want to call them into the Trump campaign before that date? Now, and I would say furthermore, are you running spies into other like Senate campaigns or House members' campaigns? I mean, is this a practice that you guys have been using for many years? I mean, this needs to be cleared up. This is very, the Department of Justice and FBI are on a very slippery slope because we need to keep these capabilities to track down terrorists. But I will tell you that I bet you wouldn't find one vote on the Republican side today to keep these capabilities in place.
Have you talked to anyone that worked for the FBI at that time or DOJ that does have some information and knows exactly what they're trying to hide and why they don't want to turn over those documents?
Well, I think if you look at what's publicly available, for example, you've seen that, you know, that Roger Stone and Mike Caputo both amended their testimony a little over a week ago to our committee, where they claim that they were approached by somebody, by some type of FBI informant in the May of 2016 timeframe. Now, they make that claim. They've amended their testimony to make that claim. So, I mean, that would be under the penalty of lying to Congress. So I assume that they believe they're telling the truth. So why can't the FBI just tell us if that really happened or not? It's real simple.
That's what you're trying to do. And Congressman, what you're suggesting is these stories that we have now heard about, that professor, these stories as well, it sounds like people just kind of out of nowhere present themselves in front of the members of the Trump campaign and try to engage them before we knew any of this stuff was going on. And a number of people who are
at the same time,
a number of people in your circle say it looks like they were trying to frame the campaign.
Yeah, so what do we know, right? Let's go back to a couple of major points. Christopher Steele was hired by the Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign to dig up dirt and put it into a dossier on Donald Trump and his associates. That makes its way to the FBI, State Department, all over the place in about June, right? June, July, August timeframe, that's happening. At the same time now, it appears you have multiple people in about a 6-week period from April to June, where you have multiple people that are making offers of selling some type of dirt on Hillary Clinton from Russia to the Trump campaign. Now, look, maybe some of those are just people that want to make some money and are really just making things up, like Christopher Steele, or maybe the FBI was running people in, or some other agency. We have no idea, but we have a right to know that. This is a legitimate investigation.
Those are the questions you want answered. We saw a statement caught our mind from a fundraiser recently. One of your colleagues who's a part of that gang of 8 who gets to see more special intelligence is Senator Mark Warner. He is purported to have said this at a fundraiser. He said, "If you get me one more glass of wine, I'll tell you stuff only Bob Mueller and I know. If you think you've seen wild stuff so far, buckle up. It's going to be a wild couple of months." Does Senator Mark Warner know something you don't? Is it time to buckle up?
Well, you know, Senator Warner has a very interesting history here, including, you know, coming over to the House side with secret meetings, complaining about the House Intelligence Committee and me specifically to the Speaker of the House. So, you know, he says a lot of wild things. I wouldn't put much stock in it. He seems to be one of the guys who was really dug in deep. Maybe he knew things from Christopher Steele and others, because it appears like, you know, they're all connected, right? I mean, the Democrats and the Hillary Clinton campaign hired Christopher Steele. So, you know, I don't know if, and we know that Harry Reid seems like he knew about this before he left the Senate back in 2016. So, you know, I don't know what Warner knows, but, you know, you guys can call him. Maybe he'll interview with you.
I just want to know if he got the glass of wine.
I want to know he's going to spill the beans over one glass of wine?
Yeah.
What would he tell you for a
hopefully, as long as it was good California wine, then it'd be all right.
All right. Thank you again, Fox, for sharing that. And letting, I'm giving you the credit for it, so you can't sue me, basically. But what do you guys think about that? Now, I'm going to ask Wavy first, again, because we stressed about how he's not as familiar. And I was watching his face while he was watching that, and it just was like, kapow, brain blown up right there.
Yeah. I'm just never surprised. Like, I'm just like never surprised. I'm just looking at all this shit and I'm just like, wow.
All right.
Like, they're telling us that they're really showing us all this shit. He's laying out. He's pretty much telling you, all right. First of all, this guy is ready to, like she said, spill the beans over a glass of wine. Somebody had penny. I wouldn't hold their words. I don't think they'd be too heavy on my mind. So, like they said, he could be somebody making it up and just talking about it to get paid and doing that type of stuff. But yeah, man, this is far past anything that I know. So,
okay,
stupid.
This shit is stupid.
Dude, what is your thoughts on this, buddy?
Well, it's exactly what I thought from the beginning. Is that once this shit gets going full head, what do people start doing? They start squealing like a pig.
Yes, they do.
And that's what's going to happen, especially when the hand gets forced on them. They're going to be, oh, Comey, oh, Mueller, oh, Clinton's. They're going to start doing it. And you know what? Unfortunately, I think there's going to be some people that are probably going to not make it alive out of this.
Well, I know there's a history of bodyguards that have served the Clintons that have not made it out alive.
Yeah.
And if you look at, let me see if I can get that back up there. You look at what's behind you. Look at that. It says CIMEX is partnered with the Clinton Global Initiative and $100 million donor to the Clinton Foundation. CIMEX is also linked to Haiti through the Clinton Foundation. Didn't the Clintons have something to do with sex trafficking with kids in Haiti?
Yeah. That's
what's
what's on those emails.
That's the supposed rumor. Okay, so the emails. There's 33,000 emails that are still missing. There's three. That's from the Clinton server, and there's 340,000 emails missing from Mr. Weiner, the former Democratic congressman from New York, and they haven't got them off the computer. Now, out of these emails, you have direct state.gov Clinton, you got clintonfoundation.org, you got clintonemail.com, and hillaryclinton.com. You got numerous emails between Clinton and Huma Abedin. I apologize if I butchered your name. Now, and there's also unknown email and BlackBerry communications on that laptop with multiple messages between Clinton and Abedin. And there's a good possibility that laptop has stuff dated all the way back to 2007, which would be the early portion of Clinton's tenure in her position. All right. Now, to lay out some timeline for you, okay?
Go ahead. Show them real quick what you got in your hand here.
Okay. Help yourself. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. This is
all right, guys. I'm a nerd. Don't make fun of me, or do. I don't care.
This is what we got going on. That Dick likes to.
I don't think you can see the chart. Actually,
I really don't want you to see the note itself. I just want you to see the paper and how big it is. I mean, we make some big ass giant airplanes with this shit.
Yeah, we can.
But there are a bunch of what are those brain things that come up?
I basically draw pictures with. Oh, sorry. I basically try it now. There you go.
Nerd life.
All that stuff. My nerd life. I draw diagrams and I make timelines, both linear and non-linear, and paradoxal. And there's a reason for that. And Dilly, what do you think about that? Little white nerd here.
This guy's fucking got big white nerd papers out using fucking big words and talking about all this shit. What the fuck am I doing here? How the fuck did I get here?
Well, you don't get a name like Cag started for no reason, and
That's right.
Anyway, to set some of the timeline here, in May, when Comey was thinking about giving his public statement and making his initial draft, okay, He called. I want you to pay attention to this because I want you to see how the language changes during all this. Okay.
Yes.
He called the Clintons' handling, his initial draft, the one that he wanted to get to Congress. He called the Clintons' handling of the classified information grossly negligent, and I quote. He also stated that no reasonable prosecutor would be able to bring a case based on the facts of the mid-year investigation. No reasonable prosecutor, in quotes. Okay, mid-year investigation. That was the investigation into the Russian meddling and email scandal and everything else. What a lot of people aren't talking about is the communication between the agents. You have multiple agents who are text messaging one another, and they're sending messages, basically derogatory and hateful messages to and or about Mr. Trump as the 2016 presidential candidate. There was one message in particular, and specifically that said, Trump will not win, we will not let him. And there was another message that said, oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. Hillary's going to win 1,000,000-1, landslide to 1, whatever it was. And there's messages between a counterintelligence agent and between Ms. Page, former lawyer, I think, and advisor. Let me see, where was that?
There's a question that said, are you making Venn diagrams? That's why I said, yes, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right.
Like that, but it's some of the stuff. I love when the positives comes in and people make laugh, and then you go back to the seriousness.
Well, I got to, guys, because if I don't do what? Oh. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
You gotta be entertained.
You gotta be entertained. Yeah, and we appreciate all the feedback. We want to hear your perspectives too, because I think the fact that we're so conditioned to immediately just believe what we hear is killing us. It's killing. They've taken creativity out of schools. They've changed learning into a common core. The word alone makes me cringe. That breeds pure institutionalism, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
It's on that level. It's just ridiculous. So, I gotta draw these diagrams because one, I'm stupid, and I'm a dumb dude. I've had a couple of brain injuries.
Come on now, you're better than that. You're not stupid.
Well, I don't remember how smart I am, so that makes me stupid.
For some reason, they gave you this pretty awesome name of Stark.
Yeah.
And when I was drinking, I was drunk as fuck. I said, you start the shit out of our kid.
But the diagrams help me retain the memory, man. And yes, still, it's like, that was awesome, man. The gas garage. We got to do a show from down there for sure.
Yes.
Look, to get back on point and paint this timeline, right? When you look at May 2nd, 2016, and he's drafting, Mr. Comey is drafting this first thing, and he references the investigation team, he references the gross negligence, and he references a no reasonable prosecutor, obviously using those terms for the legal escape of the real meaning, in my opinion, but I'm not a lawyer. He changed those terms during his next statement in his revision to extremely careless. So he went from gross negligence to extremely careless. And then he changed his assessment about the secret information that it was reasonably likely to have been accessible to hostile actors to possible. So it went from reasonably likely to be hacked to, yeah, it was possibly hacked. I wonder why that was directed that way. What do you think, Billy? What do you say about that?
Absolutely. I mean, there's just so much going on with it. Maybe this is where I get confused sometimes because there's so much and engulfs you. Yeah. Then another reason why I get lost is like Glenn throws out comments like this is like a convicted pedophile Ben Levine. Covered it up.
Oops, sorry.
wrote grade school curriculum for Canadian children. Google it. I think that boils down to the sex trafficking and everything else that goes with that.
Right. So what were you going to say to Wavy? Who knows?
See, this is one of them squirrel situations. Like,
squirrel. Wavy, like, what's your take on this so far? Are you keeping up? Are you tracking? I'm not saying you're stupid, but hey, things are going as planned. Hey, Mark,
I'm keeping up. I'm really just like like enjoying these comments and
Yeah.
what's going on.
And you know,
This-
Mark,
this
Mr. Morris,
comment.
you nailed right on the head, and that's why I made the reference to the language. And if you noticed, I posted a story the other day put out by one of the news medias addressing the language that they use in the story to trigger that emotion or that action that needs to get accomplished. Just like negligence is an actionable term, then to possible and to grossly negligent to carelessly, it changes the outcome and how the law can be interpreted and applied in the courtroom. So I'm glad you're pointing that out. I'm glad people are noticing this because there's a lot to be noticed. Not only in this particular situation, in the CPS situation, in the FEMA camp situation, in the immigration situation. Like, if you look at the statistics of how many immigrants they're keeping of the young men and how many young girls are still immigrants, I think you'd probably blow your lid. I don't know if you've seen any of that or put it together yet, but take a look at it.
Those are some of the stats I'd like to see. What these illegal immigrants that have come across the border, how many of them are, the age ranges from 7 to 12 girls and 7 to 12 boys? Because sex trafficking isn't just about the girls; it's also about the boys, and it's all sickening anyway.
Right.
But a lot of people just, kind of think it's just about sex. When you think about that, it's mainly the young girls, which it probably is a lot. I would say probably, 80%, I would think. It would be my guess. But even bringing little boys over here and doing that, sodomizing, this is all disgusting to me anyway. So
yeah, like, again, I know I keep jumping. I'm not really jumping. I'm kind of, I'm trying to tie it all in to paint the bigger picture. The sex trafficking, how many times does it come up? A lot, right? The children trafficking, the children and everybody going to the elite, okay? All of this stuff has come up, and I come back and I see the link, and pretty much everybody's name in these connections listed right here, from Bonfrom Man and Rothschilds, and Cimex is currently under DOJ investigation, and then you have Salinas is also an ex-member of. I mean, there is direct ties to investments, to cartel, to mayors, to Rothschild and Greenberg Stronghold, Fremont County Sheriff's Office. Like, I want to know about this stuff. And the largest shareholder is Soros. Like, guys, look this stuff up. See if you can draw different connections than what we're drawing or what we're saying. That's my challenge to you. That's my call to action to you. Because if we don't do that, we don't do it together as a unit, then we're never gonna break down the walls like we want to break down the walls of this corruption. It's not gonna happen. And I don't want to be somebody led to some bullcrap somewhere down the line. Like, what? Wait, how does all this influx like sit with you right now? You're pretty observant, pretty observant guy. You know.
Well, I'm looking down here at the Cimex, and I'm looking at all these things and how one is just connected to the other. How Salinas is the son of former president of Mexico. Salinas is also an ex-member of the NX, and it's all laid out so perfectly just to show you, like, holy shit, like, there's a person in every place. There's somebody in every level of this, and all the level of these things creating this. Like I said before, it's premeditated. All these things are premeditated, and you see it being implemented all around you. Now you're saying that, all these camps and all this other stuff that's going on, popping around. All these things that are happening, these are all things that have been slowly shown to us throughout these years, but worked. It hasn't been a lot of attention paid to it. This trafficking thing has gotten so bad. It's unbelievable. It's almost like it became legal.
I have a question for you on that. You're ready to jump in there, Dick. There's one person that's been put in office for the past 2 years now, almost 2 years now, that is trying to bring this to light. That's our president. I know that you're not a big supporter of President Trump, and he wants to make this right, and he wants to get this fixed. And that's why when we talk about it, we don't get heated. We definitely we discuss it very wholeheartedly, and that's what makes us great friends, is because we can have a great discussion, black and white. It doesn't make a difference,
Right.
and it brings us together. Whether you like Trump or not, whether I didn't like Obama, it doesn't make a difference. Now you can start seeing. I hope that stuff like this. I hope it opens your eyes a little bit to seeing what is going on now and what the light is that's coming. And you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you can definitely see that pinpoint. You can see that pinpoint, and that hole is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And just wait, it's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen next year. It's still going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, unfortunately, if it ever reaches that point.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm no longer interested in the person in charge, because everybody is a puppet. We don't know the person in charge, the bigger person.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I just feel like they put these people, these presidents, wrong place, wrong time is what's going on, because since Trump has been in there, seemed like I said, it almost became legal. Like, it just started to pop up more. Now, people are going to, I know for me, looking at everything, I'm thinking like, wow, well, the timelines, is this guy making aware of this, or is this guy pre-selling this? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Is it being pre-sold, or is it actually being made aware just to let you know and be against it? Or
are you trying to say, are they trying to acclimate us to a certain condition as versus pre-sold?
And I'm only saying, is it? I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying
that is a great question. That is a great question.
Could this be a possibility? Could you see this?
That is a great question. That's a great observation. Are they trying to acclimate to it? I hope not. God forbid, I hope that the mainstream media and the politicians are not trying to acclimate us to especially sex trafficking to younger children. I hope they're not trying to acclimate us to that.
Well, I feel like they tried to start that kind of.
I see your point.
Did you see the back page thing that they had when they had this back page?
Oh yeah, yep. I checked it out and I was like, what the?
That was a major gateway to starting this. Like around that time, if you notice, a lot of that started around that time. Like that was a major gateway, and it just made me think like, who started this? Like, how are they really allowing this legal prostitution? Like you're ordering.
I don't think it was actually legal, but it was
right.
It was more. It wasn't looked at. It was another way of trying to hide it to get what you want, and still.
But we know there's no secrets. We know they knew about this.
Well,
so they knew about it, no doubt. So do they have their fucking hand in the pot? So I want to know.
Yeah, that's another great question. Most likely, yes.
From everything that I've seen to this point. And again, in my opinion, based off of the things that I've seen and the patterns that I've put together, I would say that yes, they do. And the reason I say that, partly too, is because take it back to Comey for a second. Don't forget what we're just talking about, the scale of everything we're talking about right now, right? Okay, so you go back to Comey. Also in 2016, he wanted to make that separate statement that I referenced earlier about the 500-year flood that the FBI is caught in. And he wanted to do it because his intent was to preserve the integrity and credibility of the Department of Justice and the FBI, according to him. And then later in May, he also said, we need to protect a sense of justice more broadly in this country. Things are fair, not fixed. Now, when I heard that and I read that, I thought it was very, very interesting. And I said, why, with everything going on right now, knowingly do wrong, are you going to turn around and use this statement to insinuate you want to protect everything and you want to protect the sense of justice more broadly because that's more important than eliminating and exposing the ones who corrupted the justice and the sense of protection? Do you understand what I'm saying, Dylan?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Stand up for a second. Caught me off guard there.
I got him.
Oh, I don't think.
Nah, but yeah, I actually want to jump in on that because
Please do.
That just like
Hey Linda, thanks for joining us. And what part of that just blew your mind, man?
Yeah, it's just the simple fact that you said it. It's like it's not fixed, it's fair, and it just it makes me think about this whole thing. It's like, okay, they've learned that. I don't know the percentage. I'm just gonna say what I think. 90% of America, if they figure out they can't change something, they'll settle to it. They'll just say, okay, they'll become accustomed to it. It'll be, so I feel like that is also another thing that they're doing. Like, hey, like let's show them that it's happening, and let's not let them be smart enough to figure out the trick to stop it. And then once they figure out they can't stop it, and it's gonna happen regardless, they'll be numb to it. Then when the stories pop up, a lot less people will be involved in interacting in these things because they're just like, that's been happening for the fucking last 3-4 years.
God damn, I love what you're saying right now. I love it. You know why? Because I specifically made it a point to highlight the fact how much you weren't involved in this, and that's no bullshit. And now you're coming out and you've got a passion and you're speaking and you're like, oh my God, has the veil been lifted? Have I been blind for this long? And it's not crazy. It's nothing like that.
It's common sense.
It's common sense, which is a uncommon virtue these days, and that's sad to me. It's so sad. Even when you put it straight up, And Angel Pons, I will post my recorded UN phone call after this in a post. Hey, you do that because I've actually found some UN files that are directly connected to the Republic Congo or. Sorry, the Congo Republic. Okay, got a little tongue-tied. The Congo Republic and other countries that are known for sex trafficking and use priests as people who run orphanages and manipulate and generate falsified papers and send these young little boys and little girls off to families in America, and they send them off to Europe, and they send them off all over. They do the same thing with American kids. They do it. This is a global trade.
I'm a little concerned with the UN right now because
why is that?
Who funds the UN the most?
I don't know.
The U.S.
does. Duh.
So my next question is, why are we trying to pull out of the UN? Are we trying to actually get rid of this?
Is it not work anymore?
Is it because nobody else is paying their dues? Which they're not. Are they benefiting? Is the UN just benefiting from?
How much money goes through the backside of the UN that we don't ever talk about?
Oh God, that's billions and billions and billions.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
as much as we can make.
And I highlighted wait, I want to see your face. I highlighted last show that the in the dark global economy, and again, there's a lot of murky darkness surrounded around the connections that I'm going to talk about here in a second, back with Clinton and Comey. But in the dark global economy, the cartels own 15% of the fucking global dark economy. That is insane.
Yep.
That is insane.
Well, got the can-do attitude. People who can do, they do. And that's that's how it is. Like that, the cartels and all that. Yeah, they're looked at as bad and all that. But these people, and they do bad things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I condone any of this, but these are the people who actually get up and are the resistance. These are the people who fight against the things that are not right, even doing things that are not right. And
how do you think legalizing all drugs in America with the appropriate program would impact the cartel?
Oh man, I would just say whoever is gonna be head of putting these drugs here is not gonna want that position.
No,
everybody's gonna want to kill them. Like you're not gonna mess up our country.
Yeah, there's gonna be some people die if that happens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see some old mafia style cars blowing up.
Yeah.
And, you can be in the president's his bombshell ride. That ain't.
Speaking of cars blowing up, did you hear about the disgruntled veteran who blew himself up or attempted to blow himself up in front of the Atlanta State Capitol?
That's what you were talking about today. I didn't get to. I didn't get the gouge from you, man. What was the?
Well, basically, they're disgruntled. As an older man, he had an improvised explosive device on him and was taking up fireworks and poured gasoline all over himself, lit himself on fire in front of the Capitol, and had a big sign in the window of his car with a phone number saying, "Call this number." And the police were obviously advising nobody call that number because if there is a secondary device, it's going to blow up and really kill us all.
Is that really what they were thinking?
I don't know. I mean, that's the precaution I would take if I had a guy who tried to set himself or blow himself up, and he's a vet. I'm gonna check the car, dude. Sorry, I'm not gonna just walk in.
He used the childish tactics. He's like, don't press the red button. Okay, let me press the red button. Yeah, and so what was the deal on that? Has anybody? I'm sure somebody called the number. I'm sure somebody.
I honestly don't know, and
Somebody's a dick.
I didn't have time because I was so knee deep in my little graph here that I had to. My little
See, when
brain
I hear
graph.
shit like that, that's what my mind thinks. Like, I wonder if somebody actually called the number though. Like, there's just a lot of assholes in this world. Like, what if somebody called the number? But we haven't heard of any other, explosions or anything like that. So
Right.
I guess not.
Well, what I will say is that I'm going to assume nobody called the number, like you just said. And to get back, I'm gonna go back to Comey for a second, though.
Yeah, please do. Let's get a little serious.
I gotta close this thing out here. The letter with Comey, the letter to reopen the investigation was a week before the election. That's a fact. That's been called ad hoc by many people. And it's also been stated by the general report that was a serious lapse in judgment. Okay. Horowitz and Michael also said there's still no evidence found to support claims of Trump with case to clear Clinton. So basically not admitting any guilt on the Clinton. The question remains, did McCabe or anyone else at the FBI intentionally avoid taking action on the laptop findings with the Anthony Weiner and the Democrat from New York if they deliberately delayed the actions on the laptop findings until after November 8th elections? I don't know. What do you think that is? Oh, there she is. This little kimchi kid.
She wants some action today.
Anyway, they did say that there are indications that McCabe may have asked FBI agents to change the 302s, which I talked about, the interviews with the witnesses and the recordings that they made on them. The report did cite numerous examples and instances of unprofessionalism, bias, and misjudgment. However, they did not find it bias and pursue it. So that's why we show that clip, and you can see Senator there demanding that stuff be submitted and subpoenaed. And I'm on board with him. I think that needs to happen because you got text messages from 3 FBI's employees interacting with each other, agents that are infiltrated in different areas supposedly. You got counterintelligence agents directly involved. You have a whole investigation crew called the Mid-Year Investigation Team. You have 4 agents and a 5th outside supervisor. The claim they come to is it was not biased and did not affect decision, professionalism, or decisions. It did not. There was no evidence of political leaning found. I don't quite believe that. Because in the text messages, specifically, the FBI employees are supporting Clinton. There are messages explicitly written with hostility and vulgarity towards candidate Trump, now Mr. President Trump. The report is asking why the FBI leaders seemed unwilling to move forward on the emails from former Congressman Anthony Weiner, but we have no answer yet on that. Something that was really interesting to me in the language, another language highlight I have to put. Okay, the Republican senators are asking for a probe into the FBI's conduct and during the Russia meddling investigation. I am all for it. I think it needs to happen. I hope many of you think it needs to happen. I don't even know if Wade needs to happen. I personally believe it needs to happen.
Make it happen.
We're spending this kind of money with our taxpayer dollars. It needs to be probed,
Yes.
investigated, and get it done and over with. This milking it out is, to me, is bullshit.
It is. It is.
Let's get to the findings.
They want the probe too into the FISA, the FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrant that was against former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, and I think they need that as well, because when you see and expose this Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act and the warrant the way it is, it tells you how things are running. It's gonna confirm it for you. You know what I mean, Dilly?
Absolutely. I hope it does. I'm sick and tired of hearing about probes and investigations. I'm tired of all these things just being, just like we don't hear anything about gun violence and getting our guns taken away. Everything's being deflected, and now it's into this. Let's get this going. Let's get it finished, and let's get it done. Let's get America back the way it should be from all this probing and prodding and all this.
Or all the distractory bullshit that they put out there, like, "Hey, shiny ball guys, follow it," and you got the Republican senators making a statement, which is a very, very valid statement, and it would just ring with you, right, Wavy? Does that one with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what they say in the same fucking paragraph? They argue that although they want the probe into both of those issues, they argue that the Attorney General does not have the tools a prosecutor would need to gather all the facts, such as the ability to obtain testimony from essential witnesses who are not currently DOJ employees. I say again, they argue that the Attorney General does not have, or not, the Inspector General does not have the tools a prosecutor would need to gather all the facts, such as the ability to obtain testimony from essential witnesses who are not currently DOJ employees. Like, Dylan. Dylan. I'm going to you on this for a minute, because this is just fucktarded, man.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely 100% disgusting. We the Republicans, they need to come together, first off. And if they don't come together, our country is going to become, we're already the laughing stock of the world.
That's an interesting statement.
I really think so. All these other countries are laughing at us because we're doing all this stuff internally. We're doing all this stuff internally in the country.
Yes.
And they're sitting back like, watch the quote unquote the best country in the world, or the richest country in the world, about to explode.
They're watching us play Jenga.
I don't think it's just the Russians. I think it's everybody. I think they're all like they want to become the big brother and like beat us up and watch us just go away.
Right.
Whether there's jealousy in there, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to the Republican Party, they need to get themselves together. They need to maybe not even just Republican Party, the whole Congress, Senate, all of them. They need to get together and get this figured out and quit being so biased. Whatever they have against Trump, that's so and his vulgarity and whatever. Quit being so sensitive. Quit being. It's like
he's being real, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how you can get so pissed about the vulgarity sometimes or the language, because I guarantee you, when you get mad and you're watching something that's pissing you off that's coming out from somebody totally different or anywhere else, you probably yell and scream at your TV. I know you do it during a football game or a sports game or everything else.
I do.
You know?
I damn sure do.
I agree with you. And Wavy, what do you think, man? We're about to close this thing up. I'm leaving that last thing up in there because it does tie in.
Yeah, man. I'm back in the comments, man. I'm freaking reading. And Angel is making a lot of great points, man. He's saying a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And just like he said, man, everything that they put on TV, it's a smokescreen. Like, it's just, he said it, people are sitting back and taking it. That's what I meant by, the mafia and all them being the people who go out there and do it. Those are the ones who, they're holding stakes in these things. They have to say so because they're making the fight back. Now, to go with Dilly said, they're watching us play Jenga. They figure, okay, we'll just watch them pick this stuff apart and we'll come get whatever's left. And we know, because we've done that. We sat there trying to let them pick this stuff apart. We let them fucking get tired and worn out and then came in and whooped ass. So we know what the strategy's like, and we're kind of performing it on ourselves sometimes. And yeah, man, this is all just fucked. This is fucked.
What do you think, Dilly, man? Like,
I agree with him. We just need to come together and get our unification going to make our whole country better. Take care of ourselves, and then we can start trying to take care of, the small entities that need them the most. And that's where I want us as the United States of America. Let's take care of our homeless children, our homeless vets, our homeless people. We need to take care of them first. And then,
like these guys, this was awesome.
And then we can start doing it. So, I'm so passionate about my country. It just drives me nuts when I see these things that our taxpayer dollars are going to things that shouldn't be going to. And you can agree or disagree. It really doesn't make a difference to me. I just hope that we have an agreement that we need to take care of our own first. And that's what I think. I mean, let's take care of
by drawing that line. We have to draw a line on these things that are happening. You can't just let them keep happening. And we have 1,000 brainstorm parties, 1,000 meetings. But until we actually be like, all right, today's the day we go out collectively, just like we brainstorm and get together and all this other stuff. We need to go out and get this shit done. We need to draw a line, let them know this is not going to take place. We can stop it if we want to. If you guys are not going to stop it, we can stop it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to draw that line.
But with that being said, I'll tell you, we can stop it way faster if we do it together.
Yeah.
Hey, bingo.
If we do it together. Does that mean we're always going to agree? No. Dylan's touched on it multiple times. I don't have a problem getting along with anyone. I mean, everybody. I think collectively in brainstorming, we can come together to come to a solid plan on what to do, because right now the plan isn't working. And I do give Mr. Trump some credit in some areas that he is doing a good job to clean it up. But right now, we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. If we don't keep pushing, we're going to lose all momentum. We will lose all momentum, and then it's going to be another war story like we went fishing and you always caught the biggest fish, and you didn't catch the biggest fish because
you didn't catch the biggest fish. I did.
That's right, because Tilly caught the biggest fish. I was there. I remember. So
exactly.
It's ridiculous, guys, and there's no reason for it. There's no line for it. We can make a difference. We can, and we can make a big difference together. And to put it in perspective for you, like going back to Comey and the IG report and the connections and the meetings. If you remember earlier, I mentioned that the former Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, was part of the witnesses and the parties involved in this investigation. And what I didn't tell you was, I gave you the timeline for Comey's speech and his initial, and I showed you how the language changed during that process, and I showed you how everything was drafted so there was always an escape route out of it. And then the part I didn't tell you that happened on June 27th, I think some of you are aware. If you're not, you're going to find out. Loretta Lynch and former President Clinton were having a private meeting at the time. And I think to have a private meeting in that particular time that was seen, and what kind of appearances they give to you. And then you really take those names, man. You guys look at those names. I think if you like to play Connect the Dots, you'll like to figure this out, I promise you.
They were having a good time.
Absolutely.
That's what they were doing. Everybody who has a meeting, they're just having a good time. Not talking about anything.
No, they're drinking $100,000 meals and
just having a good time. Just being there.
But anyway, well, I think that should wrap up the show tonight. What do you think, Dilly?
We don't get what grinds my gears?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. What grinds your gears, Dilly? Because my gears been grinding all day, and we've been talking about this shit all day. So we'll start with you, Dilly. Go ahead and tell me what's grinding your gears.
I do have a little situation here at work. It's not even just work. It's just people that go to work. If you're going to be late, call. And let us know. It's just like give your boss, or at least your journeyman, the benefit of the doubt. Just like give them the respect that they deserve.
Hey, thank you.
Especially when they have the best interest of our team, the 4-man team that we have. Give them the respect. Give the boss the respect. don't go behind people's backs and tell the big boss, hey, I gotta take off because I'm not feeling good. Or actually didn't even say that, but it was, hey, I gotta take off because we're running out of work, which was lie. We don't run out of work. We always got work. We go outside. We can sweep dirt if we have to. It don't make a difference. We always got work. So that's been grinding my gears the past 4 or 5 days of work. We got this one cat that just doesn't seem to get the understanding of teamwork and the unity building that we have when we're working together. And that's what I don't like. I don't like this, being a vet and working with other Marines, and you work with other Marines and soldiers. We always work together, and I've got this one dude that just doesn't want to play along. It's like, come on, you can't go over our journeyman's head. You're not the boss.
Did he do it in a disrespectful manner?
I don't think he does it intentionally. I think he's just not used to understanding what it's about. And I actually jumped his case today, man. I was like, dude, don't do that shit again. We're gonna have problems. That's what I told him.
You got to though, man. You got to.
Yeah, I mean, and my boss, my journeyman, he was like, yeah, I jumped on him too. I jumped on him before you did. I promise you that, because I was pissed. You don't deserve that,
Right,
and
right.
I'm not one to put my knee pads on and suck any dick. But the thing is it's called respect. Give respect. Give where it's due, and you don't have to do that to get promoted. It is what it is. You just oh man, my gears.
Sometimes you got to put on some work.
Yeah.
Anything grinding your gears, lady?
Yeah, man. You know what really grinds my gears, man?
What's that?
It's people that don't appreciate the genuine things. Like there's so many people in this world now who are so quick to turn their head. It's not like it used to be people, your neighbor, you can knock on the door and get something to help you. The world is so cold now. When you do things out of the kindness of your heart, and all you really expect is, a thank you, or, at least some appreciation for whatever the gesture is. And just people who just don't show appreciation, people who are not appreciative of the things that people do for them, or the way that people help them. Just grinds my gears.
I don't think
Start
that
appreciating people, man. Start appreciating the things people do. Appreciate everything. Start to appreciate things more. That's all.
Okay. Well, I gotta say, you know what's grinding my gears?
Yeah, You don't usually have too many grind your gears situations here, so here we go. All right.
Yeah.
You got to stretch out for this one. This was a big
I
good
did.
one.
I really find it interesting how many people have reached out to me with malicious intent.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start talking about things, and then you get the troll squad going. And you get people who just want to be a part of whatever you're doing because it gets their likes going, or however that works. I don't know. Don't really care. The thing that bothers me is some of the after effects of that on people who are trying to do the right thing. And I'm not talking to anyone in particular in this situation. I'm only talking about my own personal experience at this moment. So if the shoe fits, fucking wear it. If it doesn't, throw it away. I don't give a shit.
Donate. Donate.
Donate. Okay? Point being, I invite you. I open my doors to you. You don't have to do it that way. I invite anyone to join me. Anyone to join the platform, anyone to talk about whatever they want to talk about and bring it. But, we'll maintain our professionalism. We can ultimately agree or agree to disagree, and that's okay. So I invite you to come to the show. I want you to be a guest on the show. We'll be going live from other locations here soon. Yeah, surprisingly, you didn't know that, sorry. So, and we got quite a bit in store. So, and the whole purpose, what do I have to fear? What do I have to fear? Only the things I create fear of myself. And that doesn't constitute a lot. So, you're always welcome to be on the platform. Come with your linear timeline, your non-linear timeline. We'll slice it, we'll dice it. We'll let the people decide, because that's what matters. So, it's grinding my gears. And I don't know, probably doesn't sound like it because I'm talking so peacefully. I should tell you. That should tell you how serious I am about this. So let's go, trolls. I'm a troll hunter.
Ears are very smooth and well oiled.
They are.
You can't even hear them. That's right.
Exactly, Glenn. Fear itself.
You only have your fears that you create for yourself. That I promise you. All right, guys. Great show. Thank you so much. We love you. We're going to close out with Hate to Be the One by Revolution. Count me in because it's an awesome song. And you guys have a great night. We'll see you next week. Big Liberty. All things American. Follow the dream. Follow us.